Alright guys, so the new set is out, the Revolution beginning for, of course, Duellinks. We're going to go ahead and do a set review, talk about the cards that are obviously in it, and then I'll give you guys my personal thoughts on this set. So first off, there's no Mermail, so the set is absolutely trash, but, or no, where the Dragoon's at too. But, more importantly, what is actually going to be good out of this set to obviously pull. So as far as the Ultra Rares, we got Junk Destroyer, we got the Karakuri Bure, we got the Ancient Sacred Raven, we've got the Underworld Fighter of Balmung, we've got the Fabled Cerberus, we've got Fabled Grimro, we've got Doomcaliber Knight, we've got Miracle Fusion, as well as Shrink. But since we're doing this live, you guys obviously in the chat can tell me guys what you think of it. We'll kind of just cover like what is obviously on the screen since I have my cam over here in little sections over here. But I do want to go over like kind of what are like the higher rarity of cards real quick. Then we got for super rares, these were all ultra rares by the way. For the super rares we have Iron Chain Dragon, we've got the Fabled Rain, we've got Raven, we've got Karakuri 224, we've got I'm just going to call them by the number because it usually is easier. Then we've got Karakuri at 177, then we've got the Koa'ki Rooklord, we've got Shield Crush, we've got Cash, we've got the Diamond Core of Koa'ki, which is actually pretty insane. We'll go over the effect, and we'll talk a little bit more about those cards in a second. And then we have Synchro Material, and we've got the Unending Nightmare. So those are all of the higher rarity cards. And then for extra cards, again, I'm not going to read every single one of the card effects, but I mean, you guys can obviously go through that if you want to, but I just kind of want to talk about all the cards, and I'll go ahead and go over them. So first off, as far as like the high like potential cards that are higher rarity and what they can offer in the game, I think Junk Destroyer is actually pretty dang good. I don't know if I would consider like, oh my gosh, ultra rare, it's so amazing. But when you happen to go for a Junk Destroyer, yeah, you can pop a bunch of cards and then attempt to go for a game. But there's a lot of OTKs in Duellinks anyways. The problem that I have with some of these cards that require so many dang monsters, because this is usually going to be a hefty investment. Like your play is relying off this. And if you get hit by any other like potential trap card, that could be a pretty big deal and you can instantly lose the game. Next up, I think the Shogun Bure, the double zeros. This was actually a very meta card when Karakuris were actually competitive in like normal Yu-Gi-Oh! And as far as Duellinks goes, I don't know what other Karakuris exist. You guys in chat, is there actually a lot of Karakuris in the game, or are these only the Karakuris that we've got right now? Because like Sazank is actually really good. I don't know if they actually came out with Sazank in here, but I feel like that card really offers a lot, and it would offer a lot for Duellinks as well. But oh, there's some in Valiant Souls. Is Sazank in there? He's the guy that flips and then destroys. But anyways, yeah. As far as Karakuris go, you guys do have more, okay. But I think this card is really good. I mean, as soon as this card is Synchro Summon, you can supposed to summon any Karakuri monster from your deck, and then you can also change something as far as its battle position, and that can be a pretty big deal. It lets you definitely push for a lot of damage. Obviously, still susceptible to traps, but when you go for like, you know, 2 monsters to make this, and then you get the extra monster for free, it kind of mitigates using multiple cards to make one. And on top of that, it's anything, and then on top of that, you're able to change the battle positions. This is actually used for a lot of different ways. There's actually technically FTKs with Bure, not necessarily in Duel Links, but just in general, and it could happen in Duel Links in the future. But definitely a great card for sure. But next up, the Ancient Sacred Wyvern. This is a really excellent card, and it could even be better in Duel Links because of course, skills. So this card has the effect where while your life points are higher than your opponent's, it gains the attack equal to the difference. And because Duellinks, you have very small amount of life points in the first place, 4,000. If you were to increase your life points via the skill that just increased your life points by 1,000, that's an extra 1,000 damage on top of that. It already has 2,100, so you can have a monster with 3,100 for literally like nothing. And if you can throw this off, that's not too bad. And on top of that, if it's destroyed by battle, you can pay 1,000 life points and resummon it. Yeah, we'll get to Miracle Fusion in a second though. But Cerberus is a very important Fabled cards. For those of you guys that maybe are newer to like the Fabled archetype, because this is the first time I've seen them personally in here. But they can definitely OTK. They're all about just synchroing up into, majority of the time, into Rain. And then after you go ahead and make this, draw some extra cards. You just try to throw a bunch of monsters out on the board. I can see this deck losing a lot to traps in general, because it doesn't really have that much destruction. But I think, yeah, if you have Fables, we could if you have access to Mom's credit card. Because it really comes down to what synchros you can make, specifically against, like, the U-Bell matchup, which doesn't see too much play in, like, higher ranks, like Legendary and higher. But while I was grinding out in Platinum, I did see quite a bit of U-Bell decks in Platinum. But I think, yeah, you could just make Stardust and, like, that deck just pretty much folds unless they can summon Calculator. They're weaker Mermails. I like the ability to destroy background. I just don't think Fables really offer that, unless of course you're getting like Grapha, which is a Dark World card later down the line. Maybe that can help out. But yeah, as far as Fables go, Sorbo is definitely a great card because it happens to be a tuner. And then you obviously have Grimro, which is great as well. So you just send it to the graveyard and then you can just add another Fable. It's a very important card for Fabled. So next up, Doomcaliber Knight. I really like Doomcaliber Knight. Simply because it's really easy to, like, wreck, I would say. I mean, you can get rid of, like, one of the Silent Magicians, perhaps, if you just summon this and then run over it. It's activating its effect and just bam. I don't know, I honestly dislike the Silent Magician deck so much, and anything that can be, like, a tool against that, technically is really cool. I mean, if Doomcaliber was not mandatory, technically you have the new Koa'ki Meiru support, and with, of course, is it Guardian? One of the Koa'ki Meirus already has access to that, but the problem with Doomcaliber Knight is a lot of people don't know how to play Doomcaliber Knight, and they'll like summon Doomcaliber Knight, then they'll go for an effect and then just wreck themselves because they lose Doomcal and their own monster. But I don't think that's going to matter for people that actually know how to use it. But Doomcaliber Knight, in fact, this card was several $100s. It was a YCS only card. It was a prize card. I remember that back in the day. But even then, it wasn't like an insanely broken card. But it was just a solid card overall. In fact, it has really good utility against GBs. Like, GBs can't trade very well with it. They usually have to go minus to really deal with Doomcaliber Knight. Unless they have, of course, a back row. Then Miracle Fusion. Oh, SJC's back in the day. That's right. It was an SJC card before YCS, before. But yeah. Anyways, next up, Miracle Fusion. Apparently, this is the only card that matters out of the set. So Miracle Fusion lets you banish hero monsters, then you get to summon a Fusion Elemental Hero. So what are the targets that are really popular? Can you guys in the chat let me know what cards you could... Oh, Miracle plus Grass. So for those of you guys that play regular Yu-Gi-Oh!, Grass is at 3 in Duellinks, which is actually insane, considering the amount of cards that you play are already going to be smaller anyways. You're going to be able to just, bam, send a lot of cards. Fusion, Grass Strangers. So what are the good targets that you can get with Miracle Fusion in this? Because I don't think the Absolute Zero is actually going to be in here, right? Absolute Zero doesn't exist. But yeah, I think that Miracle Fusion is definitely a great card. Nova and Gaia, we don't have Shining. Oh, so Nova to me is like a mech card. Gaia is kind of a mech card too. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're still usable, but like compared to Ab-Zero or the Shining, we're looking at two completely different cards. But this card will definitely be good in the future because I think Heroes is always going to be a popular archetype, therefore they're going to obviously give more support for it. So I think this card, honestly, out of this, it has the most potential to be like the most like value card because they're definitely going to have cards in the future. But as of right now, the only card that I was really excited about is Ancient Sacred Wyvern for Lightsworn. It's actually a really important card in Lightsworn. But obviously Lightsworn, well, we're kind of missing some cards to make it very viable. But anyways, next up, Shrink. I feel like there's a lot of cards that reduce the attack already in the game or increase the attack. How do you guys in the chat feel about Shrink? This is the last ultra rare that we're going to be talking about over here. I think Shrink is definitely a very decent card. But I think it's outclassed by cards like Forbidden Lance, which technically don't exist in Duel Links, at least as of right now. As far as like halving stuff, there's our Ryoki. Hollow is much better. Hollow is, however, a trap. Keep that in mind that sometimes decks, they want to be able to finish off that turn, right? So if you're playing GB, sometimes you need to be very reactive to like attack, and then you go into Murmillo, maybe destroy. I think it's an okay card. It's not what I would consider like an ultra rare. Like I feel like the ultra rare cards, Miracle and Doomcal, are great ultra rares, but as far as Shrink goes, I don't know. So as far as like the best the cards in the set, in my personal opinion, you guys can let me know how you feel about it. As far as ultra rare goes, are going to be Miracle and Doomcaliber Knight. But yeah, Doomcaliber Knight, again, you really have to know what you're doing, and most of those kinds of decks are a little bit more difficult to really get going, because it's like, if you summon Doomcal, you're probably not going to be OTK unless you like summon a bunch of monsters, then you summon Doomcal, and then you get hit by that Drowning Mirror Force and you cry every time. But as far as like the other cards go, we'll briefly talk about them. I don't actually know every single card that's in the set. So I kind of want to just kind of scroll through these super rares. But as far as the Karakuri goes, 224 is pretty useful, 177 is useful. I think Sazank would be really great. And also, Nespachi is actually really important as well. Because as soon as this card is normal or special summon, you get to also change the battle position. So like maybe if you're against Stall, like I've seen people do like Needlebug, was it Needleworm? I've seen some people do some stuff like that. So maybe it can be used against those kinds of decks. But for the most part, the battle position change is not bad. There's actually another Karakuri that lets you draw cards. I don't know if it's another Synchro card. It's the Burrito. But yeah, as far as like Iron Chain to really deck your opponent out, it's not that big a deal. This is just used for just, again, Fables are all about spamming the board with Synchros. But Karakuris, they have a little bit of position, or potential, I would say as well. It depends if Burrito is out. I don't really know if they're out yet. If someone can let me know in chat, because that's actually a pretty big deal. But yeah, the Fables are basically extra draw power, and then on top of that, you just make Synchros, and then it's basically you go into rain and then you try to draw cards. Unending Nightmare, that's not too bad. You do shorten face-up ones, but you have to pay 1,000 for it on the initial. So Synchro Material lets me select a face-up monster my opponent controls. If you control a Synchro monster, you can use the selected monster as Synchro Material. You can't deduct your battle phase. That's not too bad. That has a lot of potential. If you have Fabled, Synchro Material could be a pretty good thing. Hopefully you can use something against like a Silent Magician. Like I would just be really happy. I don't remember what level is Silent Magician. Is it level 8? Because at that point you'd have to make a pretty big Synchro. But I don't know. But Diamond Core, apparently this is a really good card. You guys can let me know how you feel about it. Cells has been going off about that in my chat, saying how good it is. And it is pretty good. Keep in mind, Duellinks is a little bit different. But being able to add any Koa'ki Meiru, which is just like, you know, if you're playing Koa'ki Meirus, right? On top of that, you can banish this card from your graveyard, and Koa'ki Meiru monsters you control cannot be destroyed this turn for the rest of the turn. So that lets you slam into a majority of things, which is really good because, again, you basically get to search out for free. You got King of Games, Diamond Core is busted, okay. However, apparently it's not a quick effect, so you can't just like be like, oh, you're activating this or during your opponent's turn. So I feel like that's a huge downside to it, but yeah. But for the rest of this turn, then we have Cash. It doesn't see too much play in like actual Karakuris, but maybe in Duellinks. As far as Shield Crush goes, as a super rare, I'm kind of confused by this one. So, like, is there a Marshmallow meta that I'm unaware of? And then we have the Fable Kudabi, which is actually a pretty interesting card. So, it can't be destroyed by battle or by card effects, and it gains the following effect based on the number of cards in your hand. So, I think that's kind of interesting that you could have a monster that is immune. It's like, I don't know, is this one of the first, like, it can't be destroyed by battle or by card effects monster in Duel Links? Because, yeah, I could say that this card is not bad. If it couldn't be targeted, too, then, yeah, it would be pretty cool. As far as the Gen X archetype goes, usually it's just, like, Birdman and then, like, Undine. Are pretty much the only options here. I wouldn't really, like, care too much about, like, this. Or the Iron Chain as an archetype, I think it's kind of weak. Most of the Fables, I'm not going to go over their effects, but basically they're all about, like, discarding, and then, like, they can special summon themselves or something along the lines of that if they are discarded. You got number 236 for the Karakuri. Again, this Pachi is pretty viable. Quick is pretty viable as well because it's got decent attack, and then when it destroys a monster by battles into your graveyard, you get another level 4 or lower Karakuri monster in your graveyard. Usually used after you Synchro, or if you're trying to go for your Synchro plays. But because there's no main phase 2, this actually makes this card not that good in Duel Links. Koa'ki Meiru, War Arms, I don't know about that. Pretty much, as far as the Koa'ki Meirus go, it's usually Guardian, is it Koa'ki Meiru? It's Sandman, Guardian, and Wall, usually like the meta. And one negates spells, one negates traps, one negates monster effects, and they're all optional, and they're all like 1900 attack, which is actually pretty dang nice. I don't know if Urnite is in here. Does anyone know if Koa'ki Meiru Urnite exists in the game? Because I think Koa'ki Meiru Urnite would actually make this deck much better, because that's just revealed in Iron Core, and then you special summon like another Koa'ki from the deck, I believe. It's a pretty decent card. Looks like we got Lucent. And like I said, I'm going to go over all the cards. Like I'll at least click on them, and I'll mention them if like there's anything to talk about or mention. Like, oh, dude, this card is amazing. Most of the Gen X, like Lucent, actually has it's discarded from to your graveyard by an opponent's card effect. You're supposed to summon one fiend monster from your deck. There's actually a lot of cheese in regular Yu-Gi-Oh! As far as like summoning another fiend type monster from your deck. Yes, we have Crusader. Okay, so Crusader and Knight exist. Okay, so Koa'ki Mirror's looking pretty good then. Honestly, I think they're probably one of the greater cards in this set. Gap that I've never seen this card. All monsters in the field are changed to face-up attack position. Also, battle positions cannot be changed. Flip effects are not activated. And you can reveal any number of fiend monsters and gain threat attack. Okay, that's probably not too useful. Justice Bringer. When a special summon monster your opponent controls activates effect, you can negate the activation. That's not too bad, honestly. Justice Bringer is not a bad card. I wish I had 1900. That would be like a nice card. For anyone that's interested in stall, Swarm of Scarabs can be tactically used. You can flip it. Oh my gosh, what is that Geargia deck that like stalls? I mean, maybe, but at the point you're just playing Geargias anyway, so I don't think you'd play it. I don't know if using Trick House. Activate one in the battle position of a face-up monster. Karakuri monster's change, select one card on the field. I mean, maybe you could utilize this just to get rid of extra like cards, right? If you're an Iron Core, destroy all face-down spell. Wait, what? Okay, like in normal Yu-Gi-Oh, you don't play Koa'ki Mirrors, but like, what I do like with Duellinks is there's a lot of cards. Okay, so whoever hit KOG, are you playing any Reckoning Power? Just for an Iron Core and just destroy all? I mean, it is trap cards a little bit slower, but like, dude, you know how like awesome this card is against a lot of like stall decks and stuff? Oh, dude, wait, Koa'ki Mirrors have Quarter Reinforcement? Dude, this card's pretty good too. You special summon a Koa'ki Mirror in your graveyard in attack position, and then when that monster is destroyed during the end phase, this controller takes damage equal to its attack, and then this card is removed from the field to destroy that monster. It's like Call of the Haunted, but for them. This card is busted. Are you talking about Wreck and Power? I mean, you're playing a Koa'ki Mirror deck. The Diamond Core, it says you add a Koa'ki Mirror card, except for itself, which you should be able to. Iron Core, I assume, is in the deck, which is what like the Koa'ki Mirror archetype is all about. I mean, most of the monsters have decent attacks, so you just like pass with the 1900 like optional like negate effect, and then I don't know, it's not bad. Look at Rook Lord. Okay, let me check out Rook Lord. Was that guy like OP? During each phase, destroy this card unless you send an Iron Core, one Iron Core Koa'ki Mirror from your hand to the graveyard, or reveal a warrior type monster in your hand. You can contribute summon this card by triggering Koa'ki Mirror monster. When this card is normal summon, you can remove and play one Koa'ki Mirror card in your graveyard to destroy up to 2 cards. Wow, dude. I mean, distributing a Koa'ki lets you then, because obviously you're gonna have a Koa'ki Mirror in your graveyard, and then you're gonna pop 2, and then on top of that, like if you just search out that card, this is pretty good. A 2800 attacker, right? If you can follow this up with like any other card, that's probably gonna be game. Koa'ki Mirrors, are they actually meta, man? Are they meta in Duel Links? But that's cool stuff indeed. Alright, anyways, continue on with your Dark Deal. That's, okay, discard card. That's for like the Dark Wolf. Miniaturize, target a monster if you with more than 1,000 original attack. It has levels reduced by 1, and also it loses 1,000 attack. Okay. I'm just going to go through these a little bit faster. Iron Train, like I said, I don't think that is an archetype that's like viable as of right now, but I'm kind of trying to look at other things that are more viable for. I feel like the Crash Bugs weren't very strong as well, like in normal Yu-Gi-Oh. Neither player can special summon monsters. Whoa. When a player another monster's normal summon to either place after. Oh, okay. Well, interesting. This card activates before result. Oh, that's the flip coin. Yeah, that's probably not. The Nightmare Horse is not really worth it. This monster can attack your opponent's life points directly, even if there's a monster on your opponent's side. Well, I mean, I think attacking directly already gets the job done. This is actually a really old card. Necro Defender actually is not a bad card. It can be technically used as a nice one since we don't have this. Does this card actually have any play? Since Necro Gardener doesn't, I don't think Necro Gardener exists in Duel Links. Someone let me know real quick if Necro Gardener exists. But it's you remove from play this card in your graveyard to select one monster you control until your opponent's next end phase. The monster cannot be destroyed in battle, and you take no battle damage. I think it could be technically used in Light Swarm, right? I don't know if Celestia exists, but that's not a bad card. Anyways, something about Synchrons, Backup Warrior, Rescue Warrior, you take no battle damage. Okay. Some of these cards I might be going by fast, so if you guys know that they're really good, let me know in the chat right here. I'm trying to make this video under an hour cap. There's just too much that I had to look up, because some of these cards, again, I just don't see playing regular Yu-Gi-Oh! And going into Duel Links, they might be actually more viable. Let's see. Target 2 face of monster you control with the same type and attribute, change one of the levels. Okay. Level 2ing, reduce the level of all face-up monsters. Gateway to the Dark World. That doesn't really see too much play anyways. No Necro card. Okay, so Necro Defender can be used just to keep a monster alive. Or, you know what would actually be okay in as well? If you're running anything that would like discard one card to do something, this card can be technically not too bad. And you can make it, it says the monster can't be destroyed in battle, and you take no battle damage from battles involving it. Could be using something like Gladiator Beast. Like, that's again one thing I'd like with Duel Links is you're running obscure cards in decks that you normally wouldn't have run. But I have not seen one Gladiator Beast deck when I was playing Ranked, even up to Legendary. I was thinking maybe I'll see them in Legendary because I thought it was a pretty okay-ish deck. I saw zero decks. Running GBs. Some vanilla monsters, again, probably not, man. More Iron Chain stuff. Oh, we were actually done with this row. Barrel Behind the Door, I guess, could be using cheese. I wish you could side deck certain cards. I don't think anyone's going to main deck Barrel Behind the Door. Oh, Dark World Brain Rushing's in here? That's actually not bad. Lets you discard a card and then, when opponent's monster acts effect, if you have 3 or more cards in your hand, except during the damage step. Wait, what? Wait. Is this different than regular Dark World? Oh, wait, hold on. Dark World. Turn to the hand if you do. Oh, okay, this is not. I was thinking of a different Dark World card. The card that I was thinking of was the one where you just banish card. Never mind, this is a completely different card. Deck is too slow. Core Blast. You can only activate this card's effect while you control a face-up Koa'ki Meiru monster. Once per turn during your standby phase, your opponent controls more monsters than you do. You destroy a number of cards your opponent controls so that your opponent controls the same number of cards as you control. That's interesting. But I feel like since the... Oh, I guess you can just set it. That could be... wait, the same number of cards as you control monsters, so that means just 1. And if they go all in, that could be a really big prank, man. Really big prank with this card, for sure. Alright, and then we have Cash Shed. Characters, defense position, negate... That's not too bad. White Veil. Oh, this is a newer Yu-Gi-Oh card, I think, like in regular Yu-Gi-Oh. But while the equipped monster battles, your opponent can't activate any spell or traps until the end of the damage step. When an attack is declared involving the equipped monster, face-up spell trap cards your opponent controls have their effects negated until the end of the damage step, even if this card leaves the field. When the equipped monster destroys the opponent's monster by battle, you can destroy all spawn trap cards your opponent controls. Dude, this card's legit. What? And you can destroy all spawn trap cards your opponent controls when this face-up card in a player's spawn trap zone leaves the field. That player takes 3,000 damage. You guys think that this card is actually worth it? Because, like, dude, I've honestly lost so many dang times to trap cards. Yo, I just equipped this to Megalo? Dude, no spell and traps can be activated until the end of damage step. And when attack is declared, I don't know, dude. I almost want to run this card in Mermails because I could just tribute with Megalo, and at that point, like, if it's not like, well, I guess Kanadi would just flip it face down, right? I don't know. Before I get to even use it. When you're playing in the higher rank, Kanadi is like in every single person's deck. So I don't know. Maybe if it made it so like they couldn't target the card also, run it or no balls. Well, I feel like if you want to go all balls, you just go face. I don't care if you have 3 back row. That's all. that's the more YOLO play. But that is White Veil. I don't think the card is that bad if you're playing some like cheesy deck. But then we have Fallen Current, target one face of monster, declare level. Okay, I don't really care for that card that much. You need to play Confusion Summon. I guess you can counter heroes for that. Isn't it that like in the main deck? I don't know. I feel like maybe if you were doing side deck duels, again, cards like Barrel Behind the Door would be excellent. I would definitely side deck this card against some random cheesy stuff. But like, probably to like toss a coin. Okay. Everyone with Synchro summon monster you control is destroyed by your opponent's card, either battle by card effect, set to the grave, select one of your move play spell cards, and add. Okay, it's kind of random. When opponent monster declares a direct attack, take the single monster with level less than or equal to the attacking monster. The battle damage you take from that monster is half, and then the damage steps towards someone. Oh, okay. That is probably still not going to be seeing any use. There's like Stardust Respark is only a common anyways, right? Fabled Urustros, if you have 2 less cards in your hand, all okay, that's pretty much useless. Fabled Diff. When a fabled monster is sent from the hand to the graveyard, you contribute this card to select that monster and special summon it from the graveyard. Okay. And then we have the last 3 cards, number 7, 7, 4, 9. Level 5 though. With cards, normal summoning you can draw a number of cards equal to the number of face-up defense position character. Okay. And we have Boulder over here. When it's destroyed battle, you get to add an Iron Core Koa'ki Meiru, or at level 4, lower Koa'ki Meiru. So they do have like a floater here. Then we have Anatomy, change it and then you can send it. Pretty much doesn't see too much play, but maybe in Duel Links, I don't know. It's like a bootleg 6-Sam United in my personal opinion. But as far as the set, here's my overall thoughts on the set. Koa'ki Meiru's are definitely great. Probably the best things to actually pull out of it. And none of them are ultra rare, which I guess is kind of great. Again, best cards in the set, I would say, are probably Miracle and Doomcaliber Knight. However, they're not what I would consider S tier. I honestly think Koa'ki Meiru, someone already mentioned that he hit King of Games already in the first day, running Koa'ki Meiru's. Well, what are you guys' thoughts in my chat or in the comment section below? You guys can let me know how you feel about any of these cards. As far as me, what I would be building out of this, I would probably be building Koa'ki Meiru's. As far as Karakuri, they don't have very many backward destruction, and because you have the diamond, you can make your cards immune. Then like Rooklord can just like special summon itself, pop 2. You use searchable, by the way, and it's like it's looking to be very strong. These youngins don't know about Doomcaliber Miracle. I mean, Miracle Fusion, like, what do you need to know about it, man? But, like, I would say the youngins, they don't know how good this card is, and they don't know how to use it. Like dude, the plays with the set Doomcal, oh my god. Like, back in the day, it was high IQ plays, man, because it has 1800 defense. Like, this card was, like, legendary. It's so, like, not good anymore. But back in the day against GBs, dude, like, they'd always just... You couldn't, because GBs were about it at one point. Glad Beast, that is. Like, dude, you could not trade even with Doomcal. Like, it was always like, someone acquired pass, okay, Doomcal attack. It's like, it was great stuff indeed. But, that's my thoughts on it. As far as, like, other things, like, I'm personally not going to be investing into this until, like what am I going to open up for Lightsworn for Necro Defenders? I mean, it's a good card. If they have Celestia. If Celestia exists in Lightsworn, maybe... I mean, it's only uncommon, right? But anyways, those are my thoughts. You guys are watching this YouTube can let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section below. What do you think of the set? Are you going to be buying it? I'm definitely going to be using all my gems on those mermails, man. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, drop a like on it. If you're new to the channel and want to see more Yu-Gi-Oh! As well as Duel Links content. Once in a while I do upload Duel Links just for the memes, sometimes with crazy plays and stuff. But we're going to go ahead and do some packet openings here very soon on Duel Links. But anyways, thanks for watching. Peace.